Skunk lives in fluffy gardens. Stinky lives here, at 2 Pong Street to be precise. Stinky is a smelly little skunk. If you or I were smelly, we would take a bath, wouldn't we? But skunks are always smelly, and there is nothing they can do about that. Stinky doesn't mind. He has grown used to the smell. But sometimes other people don't like his smell at all. So most of the time, Stinky the Skunk plays all by himself. Stinky loves to make stuff. He likes to gather up anything he can find and make something new. With an empty washing up liquid bottle, he could make a rocket, or a tower, or even a boat. Stinky is very good at making things. Our story begins one afternoon in Stinky's back garden. Stinky was sitting alone, wondering what to make next. I want to make the most fantastic thing ever, he thought to himself. But then Stinky wondered, even if he made the most fantastic thing ever, who would see it? He was all alone as usual. After all, who would be friends with a smelly skunk? Stinky was beginning to feel a little sad when suddenly he had an idea. He would make a robot. A robot friend wouldn't mind how smelly he was. This was the hardest thing he had ever tried to make. First, he drew a picture of it with crayons. Stinky used the last of his crayons to draw a nice big yellow sun so the robot would be happy. Now Stinky knew what he wanted the robot to look like, but he still didn't know how to make it. After all, this was the hardest thing he had ever tried to make. So Stinky went to see Paolo the cat. Paolo is a very clever cat. If anyone could help Stinky make a robot, it would be Paolo. Paolo the cat was happy to see Stinky. Even though Stinky is so very smelly, he is very good at making things, and Paolo thinks that that's very clever. I'm making a robot, announced Stinky. Paolo very much wanted to help. Ah, said Paolo, looking at Stinky's drawing. I know what we need. Paolo asked Stinky to help him gather up an empty cereal box, 2 tennis balls, cardboard tubes, and some sticky tape. It takes a lot to make a robot. Back in Stinky's garden, Paolo helped him put together all of the parts. Unfortunately, Stinky had no scissors. Oh dear, said Stinky. How could he cut tape without scissors? Then he had an idea. Stinky ran down to the beach. On the beach he found someone who had very pinchy pincers. It was Cornelius the crab. Oh, hello Stinky, smiled Cornelius when he saw Stinky. Even though Stinky is so very smelly, he's a lot of fun, and Cornelius likes to have fun. I'm making a robot, announced Stinky. Cornelius very much wanted to help. So back in Stinky's garden, Cornelius cut the sticky tape into little strips so that Stinky could stick the parts together. The robot was almost finished, but there was something missing. Stinky and Paolo and Cornelius all looked at the drawing. Then Stinky realized what was missing. The robot's smile. Stinky wanted the robot to be happy. He ran out to find a pen so that he could draw a smile on the robot. That's when he found Scoopy the pink rabbit. Scoopy was drawing a picture with a big felt pen. Oh, hello, Stinky, smiled Scoopy when she saw Stinky. Even though Stinky is so very smelly, He is very kind, and Scoopy likes people who are kind. I'm making a robot, announced Stinky. Scoopy very much wanted to help. Back in Stinky's car, Stinky put the final touch on the robot. A big, beamy smile. Now the robot was all finished. Stinky was so excited. Now I have a friend, he sang. I have a friend who won't mind that I'm smelly. Stinky had never been happier. Paolo thought about this for a moment. Then he asked, so you were making a robot so that you would have a friend? Stinky nodded. Who doesn't mind that you're smelly? Paolo went on. Stinky nodded. But you already have friends, said Paolo with a smile. Us. We don't mind one bit that you're smelly. Cornelius agreed. Scoopy agreed too. We were wondering why you never come out to play, she said. Stinky was overjoyed. It was the happiest day of his life. He had made a robot, which was the hardest thing he had ever tried to make. But that day, he also found that the easiest thing to make in all the world is friends.